This lesson is going to review spelling patterns for the Week 29 spelling list. In this week's list, we're going to take a look at how to use word parts to help us spell longer words. First of all, let's review what word parts are. Words are made up of three main parts: a prefix, a base word or a root word. Now, sometimes you may hear these two terms being used interchangeably, but a base word is actually a word that can stand alone and hold meaning. A root word is a piece of a word that contains meaning but cannot stand alone. And a suffix. So any word in the English language is going to have a word at its base, so a base word or root word. And then to many words we add prefixes, which are little pieces of meaning added to the beginning of words. And some words will also have suffixes, or could also have a suffix instead, and those are pieces of meaning added to the end of words. Now, how does this help? Well, if you have a long word that you need to learn how to spell, you can break that longer word into its word parts. For instance, each of the spelling words this week is made up of a prefix, either a base word or a root word, and a suffix. So you can break each one of this week's words up into three parts to help you to learn how to spell it. Let's take a look at a few examples. Let's look at the word unskillful. As we are learning how to spell that word, we can break it into its three main parts. First, the prefix un, and then we're going to add to that the base word of skill, and then added to that we can add the suffix full. So as you can see, unskillful can be broken into three main parts: un, skill, and full. Much easier to spell. Let's take a look at another example. Development. Again, let's look for our prefix first, and that will be de or de. Now in this case, we're not going to add a base word, we're actually going to add the root word of velop. As you can see, velop does not stand alone as its own word, but it is a root word in that it holds a piece of meaning. And then we're going to add a suffix to it, which is ment. So again, we're breaking this into three parts in order to help us learn how to spell it. Let's do one more with its own special rule, of course. Let's look at unbelievable. First of all, let's identify the prefix, which is un, just like in unskillful. Let's next identify the base word. In this case, the base word is believe, but notice we've dropped the E. When we have a base word that ends with an E, but we're adding a suffix such as able, which starts with a vowel, you are going to drop the E. And then, of course, again, the suffix for this word is able. So we can break a word down into its word parts, three smaller parts, in order to help us learn how to spell each of these words. And again, each of your words this week will be able to be broken down into all three parts.